Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Welcome back, everybody. It's so good to see you today. It is Tuesday. We're hoping that this podcast is posted on a Tuesday, unlike last week where this boss messed it all up. And we had our probably the most downloaded podcast that we've had so far to date. On our marriage, where Coach Darcy and I just put it all on the table. And we talked about how marriage and weight loss go hand in hand and what happened in our life. And by the way, if you have not downloaded that, especially if you're a client of ours, and are going through kind of the emotions of what is happening to my body, what is happening to my mind, what is happening to my relationship, go find that marriage and weight loss podcast because it really could save your marriage. It did mine, after we worked it all through.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Darcy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm
That's
feeling
good.
great.
Good.
I think what our topic will be
Oh my
about
gosh.
is, our 30-day carnivore challenge.
I am so excited to talk about this because
Yeah,
it's day 30.
it is, well,
For you and I, it's day 31.
day 31, yes. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited
Yeah.
about what's going to happen, what I'm planning. I've been
Yeah.
jotting things down and pre-planning this next
Yeah.
month.
I'm
So
excited, but I'm not because I set out on May 1st, I set out to do this journey to prove Dr. Barry wrong, to prove all of these
did you
people wrong. I
really?
did. I did. I didn't want it to work because I love to
Yeah.
eat. I
Yeah.
love to eat. And, but I also hate how I felt. I hated the mental health struggles that I was facing. I hated feeling the pain and the inflammation, and I hated all of that. So, but I did. I said I went to prove him wrong because he's all out there, doing his lives. We love you, Dr. Barry.
Yeah, we do.
Um, but he's doing his lives with his cute little wife Nisha. They're doing and they're celebrating this carnivore stuff, and I'm like, no, we're keto coaches, and we will always be keto coaches. And I put a controversial post. I know you find that hard to believe because I'm so meek.
That is so hard to believe.
Yeah, I know that's hard for you to believe, but I put a controversial one out there. I don't know if you've read it because
Mm.
we've been in
Was
class all
that
morning.
today? Today?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. But I stated something that I do not believe that people should start out carnivore.
No, I
I
don't.
don't
I
believe it.
don't believe that either.
I'm scared for 150 people right now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they're doing so well. I counted up the people who have reported into me. We have nearly 700 pounds lost in our 30-day challenge.
What?
It's
That's
insane.
insane.
It is
That's
absolutely insane.
amazing.
In fact, in our class the other night, we had about 20 people that showed up in our
Mm-hmm.
class, and there was 120 pounds lost just in that little
That's amazing.
facet alone. And so I'm so excited for these people, but I'm terrified for them
Right.
because many of them came to us and wanted to join this challenge because they were already keto, right? And they had already
Mm-hmm.
changed their lives, but a lot of them were like desperate to lose weight. And they were just wanting to change their life, and they jumped in the deep end. And when I say deep end, carnivore is the deep end.
It is the
That's
deep end.
the ultimate elimination, right?
Yeah.
And they did great because 30 days with that support of each other, we had such a powerful support team. We were in there actively coaching them. They were doing the things. There was that accountability in there. Well, guess what tomorrow is?
Yeah.
Day 31,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on their own. Now
Mm-hmm.
we're providing them support.
Options too.
We
Yeah.
kind of we announced that we gave them, the group aspect, the group accountability. We announced the accessibility of one-on-one coaching. So we gave them something to hold on to, a lifeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what scares me when somebody says, I'm just going in, they come in cold and they're just going carnivore. And like everything I say, you can prove me wrong. And there's that person that says, I did it and I'm 15 months carnivore. That's not typical, right? Because
Right.
carnivore can be boring, right? It can
Hmm.
be, and if you don't have the foundation of knowing how to eat and how to eat in a social situation, this could knock you on your butt. And so, my
Right.
biggest fear, and I want you to speak into this too, Darcy,
Hmm.
my biggest fear for these 150 people, and did 150 finish? No. I'm guessing we probably had 75 from the emails that I'm getting that finished and have reported their weight to me. Which is over what I had
Right.
said at the
Yeah,
beginning.
you gave a percentage that was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a lot.
It was kind of insulting to them. Like maybe that's what made them do it. Maybe I made them
Maybe.
mad. They're like, I'm gonna prove her wrong.
Right.
But
Right.
we had an overwhelming amount of people that did finish. And my fear for them is that as they go off on their own, they don't know how to transition. And
Hmm.
there's going to be some of them who are like, "Hey, carnivore, I just can't do it," or the social event is setting me off course, and they're going to end up going back to the sad diet. And my fear for them is the weight is going to come raging back because they don't know how. They don't have the foundation of what do I eat outside these boundaries of animal products, and so I am scared for them.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Have you thought of that, as
Yeah.
we end?
Our husbands did this. So we're
Mm.
kind of getting the feedback from the ones that have been keto for a while. Mark and I have been keto about the same length, and switching over to this, like getting some feedback from him. He
Mhm.
believes, and I agree. Like it's one of those things where it is um like if you're thinking long term, it's not really sustainable. It's sustainable if you want it to be sustainable, like if for those few people that can just, simplify life. But I think you can definitely use this as a tool to switch back and forth and to
Mhm.
create building blocks. Like I believe in building blocks for people's health, um, to ease out of the manipulation that we have had for over the many, many years of eating the standard American diet, the
Mhm.
sad
Yeah.
diet. So I think that to shake away from that and to make something long term, I think keto was a great building block
Yeah.
to do that. I think then adding those, the other tools such as fasting,
Mhm.
and then this carnivore is another way to amp it up,
Yeah.
to really dive deeper into the microscopic things that's going on with your own personal body. So
Mhm.
I'm excited. I do believe that, when somebody has that mindset of, because I do believe that it switches over
Mhm.
to, instead of just eating to for enjoyment
Yeah.
and just, our eating for our emotions, we are actually just fueling our body
Mhm.
and having that mindset of
Yeah.
it's fuel for the day. Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. And you're using the different types of proteins,
Mhm.
to be able to do that. I have officially, I can officially say that I needed those proteins to
Mhm.
help heal the ghrelin and the leptin
Yes.
hormone that I was struggling with, even
Yes.
on keto.
I have never
Knowing
been
the
able to
order.
fast. I've never been
Mm-mm.
able to fast before. Now I struggle with an eating disorder, and so I'm scared to fast a lot of the
Hmm.
time. But I have never been able to fast until now.
Right,
And it is what we're recording this podcast at 11:30 and I haven't had anything to eat all day and I'm not even thinking about food.
right. The
And
food noise is gone.
I worked out like a beast this
Hmm.
morning at the gym, and I'm starting to see muscle definition.
Right.
I've seen the lowest that I have seen on the scale in the entire time that I have done this weight loss. So the perks and the benefits for me outweigh it. But it's those people who don't know how to build a foundation of
Mhm.
health that scare me a little bit. And so
Yeah.
if I were to map out a health plan for somebody who is coming into me for coaching, there'd be a couple of different routes I would take, and you're going to take them down one route when you're going to talk about where you're going with your
Hmm.
carnivore journey. But what I would say is give me 60 days of keto first. Let me teach you everything I know about keto. Let me change you from a sugar burner to a fat burner. let me get your ketones. Let's get your ketones in strong. Let's get your addiction to sugar and carbs. Let's get that. I'm going to say 90 days. I'm going to say I would want a client
90,
if I
yeah.
had a dream, if I had a dream scenario where I could have a client for a year, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
if I could have them for 90 days keto, I'm training them how to eat. I am working with the emotional food addiction. I'm working with the detox, both physical and emotional, which come at two different times. I get them knowing, like the back of their hand, what they can eat on keto. And then we pull out this tool. And
Mm-hmm.
then we say, okay, can you give me 30 days of carnivore? I would have to know. I would have to be able to assess with this client, can this client take it? Because this is not for everyone. There's
Right.
a lot of clients who would say, I can't. My social schedule won't allow it, or, I just physically can't. And we are able to assess that when we get to know a client because every client is different. And so I would, if that client was ready, I would take them on 30 days. Then here it is for us, 31 days here. We're going to reassess. Do we want to continue to lose weight, or do we want to continue to heal insulin resistance? What is our goal?
Mm-hmm.
If our goal is to heal insulin resistance, I'm going to beg you, give me 30 more days, right?
Right.
If our goal is weight loss, that's going to happen with keto. That's going to happen with, because we got you in a calorie deficit, right? Um, but if it's healing insulin resistance, if it's reversing PCOS, if it's reversing type 2 diabetes, I'm going to say, do you have another 30 days in you? Do you think you can do that?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, I'm going to teach them how to gently back out of carnivore so they don't gain weight. And so you are going to go on this really fascinating journey. I'm going to continue, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to continue carnivore for another 30 days because I want to get strong. I want to work at the gym. In fact, our gym was over today, and I wasn't done with my set, and my trainer said, "Hey, you're done." I said, "No, I haven't finished my set yet. I had so much energy. I finished my set." So I want to continue muscle building. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I want to go. I want to turn some body fat into lean body muscle. So I'm going to do another 30 days, but you and I both are getting certified with Fasting Like a Girl with Dr. Mindy Peltz.
Mm-hmm.
Best training we've ever done. I am so excited to offer this to our clients when we're finished. That I have learned so much. In fact, we are late recording this podcast because we had so much to compare notes with. But you're going to take this,
Yeah.
you're going to kind of adapt her program
Mm-hmm.
to what we're doing now and kind of combine. I'm just going to shut up so you can talk about it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? It's day 31. What are you
It's
going to
day
do?
31. So I'm going to be going based off of my cycle like I have. I've been doing our fasting like a girl method for about a year. And so going into carnivore, I was really nervous because I have changed my hormone cycle or in my cycle and how things go and flow the way a woman should,
Mm-hmm.
because who knew that when you are entering into your menstrual cycle with bleed week, and
Mm-hmm.
before that, you don't have to be cramping, you don't have to be
Yeah.
miserable.
Who knew
Um,
that?
who knew that you as a woman could feel that way and have a regular cycle, and that you're not necessarily having to gush. This is
Mm-hmm.
TMI, but we're on a podcast, so we can be
Yeah.
anything right now, but you don't have to have heavy flow, constant or
Yeah.
irregular. Like you can fix all of that, and you
Mm-hmm.
can know what your cycle is going to be doing the next round.
Mm-hmm.
So going into this carnivore, I was a little nervous because I'm like, oh well, I know the importance of carbs, nature's carbs,
Mm-hmm.
uh, during your, building up your cycle for bleed week.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, what's going to happen if I have zero carbs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you that it didn't mess anything up. It actually, I didn't realize that I was going to be hitting bleed day
Mm-hmm.
until bleed day happened.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, there was very little like knocking at the door, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
there was some bloating
Mm-hmm.
to be expected, but it was not near what I was doing before. So
Mm-hmm.
my curiosity started to build. I'm like, okay, do I continue carnivore the way I have been doing, or how can I add this fasting
Mm-hmm.
and carnivore together?
Yeah.
So what my plan is there's 4 phases in your cycle that we work on. And the first phase is what they would typically be like ketobiotic. So very clean keto, low carb, because your estrogen loves zero carbs. She didn't like carbs.
Right.
So that's why we focus on very low carbs.
And
And then,
this would be, instead of saying clean keto, this would be when you're
mhm.
bringing in your carnivore.
Yeah, so that's what I will do. I will
Yeah.
I will be my carnivore-ness
Mm-hmm.
self
Uh-huh.
and focus on that. And then when it comes to the ovulation phase, that is when you focus on carbs. But I'm wondering if I need to have the high carbs that are suggested,
Mm-hmm.
which is between I think it's up to 150 carbs. That's just a
Yeah.
lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot if you're not doing any carbs at all.
So maybe
Um,
that phase will look more keto, like our
it
old
is.
style of keto.
Yes. So I'm
Okay.
going to focus on keto, but I'm going to be doing it in where I'm focusing on the toxicity level of certain vegetables up front. This is like the very first month that I'm bringing any sort of vegetable in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to focus on the low toxicity level uh, carbs, which would be like avocados and squashes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably what we're going to work with. And then we're going
Yeah.
to exit out of that again. So after that ovulation phase is over, then I'm going to go into another like power phase, like the first phase. And then we'll go from there. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of figuring things out, and I'm going to tweak things how they
Yeah.
go. And um, but the point is being able to have some higher carbs to feed
Mm-hmm.
those hormones that need to be fed, with also detoxing my life
Right.
from the toxins that I've been having from the vegetables and the unlimited vegetables. Like I ate a butt ton of broccoli, like
Oh
raw
yeah.
broccoli, and
So full
broccoli
of
is
oxalates.
probably. Oh yeah. So I'm surprised I didn't have more of an oxalate dump
Yeah.
when this last month. So
Yeah.
I'm just with as much as I had before, but it does make me nervous. Like doing this
Oh
makes me
yeah.
nervous
Yeah.
because I don't want to go backwards. I don't think I'll go way deep in the deep
Yeah.
backwards of where I was when I
No.
had oh my goodness, a terrible month of bloating and crankiness and all of that mixture,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah. And
overflowing.
you may find at the end of this experiment, you may find that carnivore is where is at, and carnivore
Maybe.
also fixes the hormonal cycles, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's a really cool place to
Yeah.
be. And the cool place to be also is that you have a clear mind and you can literally feel every change that you're making.
Yes.
That's what carnivore's done for me, is it's
Mm-hmm.
cleaned my mind out. I do not have any problem thinking. Taking Dr. Mindy's class, we'd started it before carnivore, I think. I can't remember, but I just
Yes.
remember sitting in class yesterday all day thinking, I am retaining. You told me you had a headache, and you didn't retain a lot. So go back
No,
without a
I did. I
headache.
got notes.
And it's like, my gosh, I can retain everything that I'm learning in
Hmm.
this. And I'm like writing down like a mad woman. So yeah, but we want to caution you, because if you are not ready to make that lifestyle change, half of what we do with our clients is lifestyle. So if 10% of what we do is calories, 90% of what we do is lifestyle. If you are not willing to make the lifestyle changes and be willing to tell your enabler friends no, one of the things I was not surprised, nothing surprises me anymore about people, but
Yeah,
one of the
right.
things is the shame that is brought to people who are choosing to not include veggies and sugar in their diet. Like, the ultimate shame comes with the carnivore lifestyle. Keto,
Yeah.
you get it. I mean, keto, you get it. I get that every day.
Yeah.
Oh, you eat that keto stuff, you're gonna die of a heart attack. Are,
It's
are,
salt. You got
it's
high
salt.
cholesterol. You
Everybody thinks they're mad scientists when it comes to
Yeah.
this, and it's us who is coming off of our blood sugar medicine. It's us who is not needing a doctor anymore because we've
No,
changed our lifestyle.
pains are gone.
Oh my gosh, you want to
Medicine's gone.
I don't want to do this to you, but you want to read an extremely good book. We are learners. This book,
Are you making me read
oh
another book?
my gosh, The Unholy Trinity by Daniel Trevor.
All right.
Wow. Guys, Get rid of the doctors. Get rid of them. I'm telling you, it is the biggest scam. And we're not doctors. We don't play one on the internet, but
Mm-mm.
I'm telling you, we are being sold a bill of goods when it
Right.
comes to big pharma, big food, and our physicians. It's just
But
it's
disclaimer, we have to say
disclaimer.
this, there are
They're good ones.
amazing doctors out there that are breaking free from this trap of being a doctor, a medicine
Keyword
giver.
breaking free.
They are
Yes.
breaking free, and we need to support them as
Yes.
much as possible. Just like
Yes.
Ken Berry and Nisha, like we need to support them as much
Yep.
as possible because,
Absolutely.
as a nurse and as a doctor, like they broke free from that.
They
And
did.
there's, I
And they
mean,
took
there's,
a risk by doing that.
yeah,
And we are
yeah.
also having doctors refer clients to us now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they understand. Here's the other disclaimer for doctors. We beat up on them and then we pat them on the head a
We
little
say,
bit.
oh wait, we love you,
We
but just
don't
not
like
all
you,
of
but
you.
wait a minute. But frankly, they have two problems. Number
Yeah.
one, they don't have enough time because of our
Yeah.
insurance mess that we have here. They don't have enough time. That we spend hours with our clients. We walk through the pit with our clients. They don't have time to do that. And number two, they have patients like us who don't listen to them, who are not
Mm-hmm.
willing to put down the cupcake and get their crap together.
Yeah.
They have people who would rather have pills than heal their bodies with food. And so they've got us to deal with. So
Yes.
it's not all of them. It is not all of
Band-aids.
them. And then the ones who know the truth have patients who aren't willing to do what they don't want to get better.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather be put on. I got really upset this morning thinking about I think a lot. Um I'm
What?
getting ready to speak at our church. And when I get ready to have a speaking engagement, I try to think about everything else but the thing I have to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm really nervous.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about everything but what I have to tell these women that night. And I was thinking that today, PCOS is taking over this younger generation.
Yes.
Women not having cycles is not normal, you all. You all, like, everybody's excited. Oh, I don't have cycles. No, that's not
This
normal.
this
And
is not
early
good.
menopause, y'all, is not normal. You should
Mm-mm.
not be going into menopause until your late 50s. You should not. The more you have the cycle, the more you detox. That is what a cycle is for. It's to get the poisons out of your body.
Yeah.
They tested it.
Yes.
They tested the blood. The plastics from our lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
all of the toxins that come out, it is meant to detox you. You're not having them, that's a problem, right? So I'm thinking of all these women with PCOS that they could reverse. First thing they do is they put them on metformin, they tell them to lose weight, and and what's the third thing and they put them on birth control. Birth
Mm-hmm.
control, metformin, and lose weight. They are masking the symptom instead of reversing the root of what PCOS is, and that is insulin resistance. We
Right.
can give us a client for 3 months, we can reverse insulin resistance. That woman is having a cycle again.
Right. And let me tell
Crazy.
you, like when you have a cycle, like I've been having a cycle, it's not terrible.
Mm-mm.
Like it's a nuisance because yeah, you have to stop a week of your time, but you also get a rest.
Yeah.
Like you should rest.
Rest.
But
Absolutely.
when you balance those things out and you know it's coming, you know you can schedule the day. It's not like you're guessing what day it's going to show up because it's pretty spot on. You don't have to have those pains. You don't
No,
have to have the agony.
no.
So, yeah, it's a pain to be a woman because we have to have a bleed cycle, but we also get to have a detox cycle.
Exactly.
So,
And my sisters that are in my age group, the perimenopause women, you
hmm
don't have to go through this rough cycle. You don't have to go through hell with your hormones or if you're feeding your body what it is asking for.
right.
It's so simple to us and we can't unsee it. And so our passion, you know, I used to love to be a weight loss coach. I used to love when our clients would say, "Hey, I lost 2 pounds today." I used to love to be able to tell you, "Hey, our 30-day carnivore challenge, I lost nearly 700 pounds." I
Yeah.
used to like be so excited. And that's a great marketing tool if you're a weight loss coach. I don't even care about that anymore.
Mm-mm.
Give me the client, and I had one yesterday. Give me the client who comes to me and says, "Monica, I have insulin resistance. I have pre-diabetes. I have got to do something because I don't want statins. I don't want blood pressure medication. I don't want to go on metformin. Help
Right.
me." That I love. And so our
Yeah.
practice is changing. And yeah, Is weight loss a side effect?
It's great. It's
Absolutely.
great. It's
Absolutely.
wonderful. It
So,
feels great.
yeah. So 30 days of carnivore, I set out to prove that it doesn't work. I set out to prove that I couldn't do it. I set out to prove that it's just an annoyance, and I failed. I failed miserably because it did work. I feel
Mm-hmm.
better than I have felt in years, and I'm committing to 30 more days.
Mm-hmm.
I am all in for another 30 days.
Yeah.
So our message to you, if you are part of that group, number one, don't stop. Don't stop and don't convert over to keto without assistance. Don't convert. Macros matter. You're going to have to start tracking, right? Don't do this thing by yourself.
Right.
And or be very cautious if you do, because we want to make sure that you keep that energy that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have some of those people do spectacular.
I think
Doing
with the carnivore though, like they're gonna probably get burnt out,
hmm
real quick.
Yeah,
So
you got to have a plan.
definitely have a plan.
Do you,
Definitely use
do you know what my
use
plan
the
is?
to go carnivore for another 30 days.
Well, do you know what my plan is if I get bored? Because it is
Oh,
boring. It is boring.
yes.
I
Yes.
bought a
Share.
Ninja Creamy,
Oh, yes.
and that's my plan.
Yeah.
Is it perfect carnivore? Is bringing in a sweetener that is approved, keto approved, by the way, um, is bringing allulose back in completely carnivore? You'll have the carnivore police telling you, "Oh
Oh,
no, that's
no.
not." Absolutely
Well,
not. However, if a creamy carnivore ice cream on the weekends with my family prevents me from getting so bored that I quit, that's where I'm gonna hang. I'm gonna hang my hat
right.
on that. And so yeah, that's that's my plan. And
Mm-hmm.
right now I am 100% carnivore, and I have not brought that in. I did have to taste my recipe. I had to create this concoction. So I'm not gonna lie to you and say I haven't had
I
any
haven't
carnivore
had,
ice
yes,
cream,
right,
because
right.
I texted you a picture of it.
Yes, you did.
um,
You did.
so
A whole bunch
but
of them.
exactly. I have it down pat.
You
It
you
tastes
got it
like a
stocked up.
I have 6 pints in my freezer. It tastes like a Wendy's Frosty. That's
Mm,
how I have it down to now.
okay.
I accidentally added some vanilla
Extract,
almond,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and it almond extract, and I
oh.
didn't like it.
Mm,
But yeah, I've that's my plan. So even I have to have a plan up for another 30 days. Now you're
right.
getting it ready to go into your calendar, where you're bringing in some of those stressors of what day is
Yep.
it? Am I in power phase? Am I in manifestation phase? What am I doing?
Yep.
So
I'm honestly, I am very nervous.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, one
Like
thing I learned, so you can, what I used to do when we did the ageless keto, this is just like a you and me kind of staff conversation we're having. But I didn't realize that you can jump in the middle of that calendar. I used to tell
yeah.
my clients, "Oh, you got to wait till the first day of your bleed cycle to start your 28 days or your 30 days." You don't. You go by the moon phases. You go by
Mm-hmm.
you can jump right in the middle. And that helped me learning that yesterday, because I deal with a lot of perimenopause women. And you go by that day, the ovulation day, you can just put them right in there if they know where
Right.
they
You
are
have
in
to
their cycle.
track.
Yeah,
You
you have to
definitely need
know.
to track. This is why we emphasize as coaches, we emphasize tracking everything
Hmm
that's going on on
hmm
with your body.
Yes.
Between your readings of glucose, readings of
hmm
ketones, between your cycle,
hmm
between how certain foods may affect you, like writing all
Yeah.
this stuff down, tracking it down is going to give you a little bit more peace every single time,
Yeah.
knowing what your body is going to do because
Yeah.
bodies are not created the same. So
No.
my body's not going to do what your body's doing.
No.
So
Data
we
is
have
not
to
diet. I like to say data is not
absolutely,
diet. The more
absolutely.
you know about yourself, the more empowered you become,
Hmm.
and the less empowered that your physician comes.
Right,
You
right,
know?
exactly. So that's
hmm
the importance of where I'm going. Is just,
Yeah.
going into something new like this, knowing how good I feel after carnivore,
hmm
knowing that I'm losing weight because
Yeah.
I do have a weight goal that I want
Yeah,
to
I do
be
too.
at.
Yeah. I do
So
too.
that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
But then once I get to my goal weight, then that's another
Yeah.
hurdle that we'll be going over. But
Right.
aside from that, as coaches, we've been doing this for a while. We are still always learning about ourselves. We're always growing. We still have goals. We make
hmm
new goals. We
Yeah.
try new things, and we're never done.
We're never done.
We're never done.
Sometimes we're chasing a number on the scale when we should be chasing a body fat percentage number
Right.
instead.
So true.
And because that's what I'm chasing now, as far as I don't know, because carnivore can make you gain weight, but
Mm-hmm.
shrink your body. I had a client this week who was like, Monica, the scale hasn't changed. Her pants are falling off. And so she did a
Something's
measurement.
moving.
She's down 4 inches everywhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
because you're putting on muscle,
Mm-hmm.
because you're getting your protein, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's why I quit carnivore before, because I'm like, oh my gosh, the scale's going up. Well, the scale's going up because I'm building muscle.
Right. And
So,
the best thing, the best news that I found is that we're diving deep into those fat cells that we've had stored for years and
mm-hmm.
decades with full of toxins, and we're starting to dive deeper into that. So,
Yeah.
like when we talk about building blocks, yes, we want to get to that end goal. We want to get healthy. We want to go back
Mm-hmm.
to our young self that was fit and fly, but knowing that it's gonna take time,
Mm-hmm.
even like 5, 6, 7 years into it, some people 20 years into
Yep.
it, diving deep into those toxins that is causing their body havoc, but being able to utilize these tools
Mm-hmm.
to dive deeper and dig out the cruddy stuff is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Like cleaning out the storage closet, you
Yes.
know?
Who loves organizing a nasty storage
I
closet?
know. I know. But we don't give ourselves enough time. We want
No.
instant fixes. And
We are a world of convenience, and we've been brainwashed since the
yeah.
night well probably the 1920s
Oh,
of
yeah.
this convenience of not having to do certain things, but when we don't
Yeah.
have to do certain things we add other things into it, so
Yeah.
we're just replacing it with crap. And so
Yeah. And
I
a caution that I have is this is a trouble that some trouble that we got into when we first lost the weight was over educating ourselves and
oh
wanting to
yeah,
change things. So a big caution that we have for you is don't change something and then change it again within the next week.
right.
You've got to give it time. You've
Mm-hmm.
got to give it a good 30 days, a good 36 60 90 days before that takes place, before you can make any judgment calls of if does this work or not. Luckily,
Right.
you and I have experienced some mental health improvement, and we've seen some instantaneous things, but we've only touched the tip of the spear when it comes to
Right.
what we actually did. And so the biggest problem that people have is they quit too soon. And
Yeah,
then they bring
they
in
don't want
cheat
to.
days and mess
Yeah,
up what they've done, you
they
know?
don't want to stay in the space that they're in
Yeah.
too long, because
Yeah.
they think that if they're in there too long that they're
Yeah.
wasting their time, but they're not.
Right. Or they learn
It,
something new. Oh, I got to, it's like shiny
let's go into
objects
the
in here.
store. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Oh
You
man, I
can't,
remember that phase. That was a terrible
oh,
phase.
it was
Don't do it.
bad. You were
Don't do
stressed out. You were
it. I
really
was.
stressed out. And now we're just taking things in slow.
I
We've found people we trust,
yeah,
to
yeah.
educate, and because
Mm-hmm.
we're never done learning.
Right. And there's new ones that we find that have very like amazing things to say too.
Yeah.
But we are also educated enough to know
Right.
what to decide is good and what's
Right.
like, I don't know about that one.
And cross educated. So when I first began Dr. Mindy's, we're going to close up this podcast
Yeah.
here in a minute. Because when I first saw Dr. Mindy's program and the fasting like a girl, we lost some clients to that. We were all in for it, but it wasn't until I cross educated myself on addiction, and I put you have to carry the addiction factor. If I'm dealing with a client with a food addiction, I've got to put that into the equation for fasting
Hmm.
like a girl. Because if that woman who is trying to do the cycle eating, if she eats the wrong food because it's a trigger for her, she's going on a 50-pound sugar binge.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yep.
lose her. And we have lost clients for that. So we
Yes.
have had to find a way to, how do we hold on to this teaching of fasting is good, hormone feeding is good, but this client has a food addiction. And if this client picks up a potato or a squash or something like that, she's going on a 50-pound sugar binge. So we have to kind of cross educate. And that's why every client is different. That's why we
Yes.
don't have a recipe for every single client. And then you bring in the men on top of all this, and they're their
They're
own
so
beast.
easy.
It's just like, they've got a 24-hour cycle. They can do
Yeah.
anything.
Yes. Right.
So, hey, we're going to close this session out today, but give give a grade for the last 30 days. What would your grade be for the last 30 days of your life
Hmm.
in
That's good.
carnivore? A
Well,
grade.
even if you're not carnivore, give yourself a grade.
No, I want to know what your grade
Oh,
is.
my grade?
Darcy,
Oh,
I want
I
to know
thought
what.
you were talking about the
No.
audience here. Like,
No,
look,
no, they haven't done it yet.
because
They
well,
haven't done
if
it yet.
they could still ask themselves that question
They
if they
could.
did the carnivore diet or if you didn't do it. Give
Or if they're
yourself a
eating
grade.
if they're eating the SAD diet, I'm sure
Hmm
the grade
I
is
would
not
I would give 'em give how I did on the carnivore diet. I
how
would give
you
myself,
feel.
oh,
How you
how
feel.
I feel on the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
I would say an A plus.
Yeah.
A
Me too.
minus maybe
I would say, yeah,
some days.
how I did on the carnivore
A
diet,
minus.
A minus. Yeah. Maybe a B,
I still had
because
pepper.
you had pepper.
I did eat
I
pepper.
had dairy. I had dairy, and dairy sometimes can stall you. So I would
Yes.
probably give
Yes.
myself a B plus on how I did,
Mhm.
how I feel, an A plus for sure.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. All right, coach. We are here every Tuesday morning, unless the boss messes up and releases a podcast on Wednesday morning.
Then we might be
Every
here
other
Wednesday.
time, every other
We could
time.
be here on Thursday. Just stay tuned and
Just stay
subscribe, follow,
subscribe.
share,
Yeah. Give us a
review.
review. Give us a
Yeah.
grade on our reviews. We would really love you to give us a review. Share
Oh,
this with your
goodness.
family and friends. And like I said before, if you are struggling in your relationship, would you go back into the podcast list and choose the marriage and weight loss? I just think that's just like a foundational thing. I like people to know this is what you could possibly experience on your journey. So
Mhm.
we are so happy that you joined us today. And we will see you next Tuesday morning when we drop our next podcast. Take care,
Bye.
guys.